Hey everyone, and welcome back to Confronting Chaos, a series where I quickly go over chaos fights, give you a rundown of why boosted characters are boosted, why I chose my characters, and potential choices for you. In this video, we're going to be going over the Exdeath chaos fight, so let's jump right into it. This fight is divided into two rounds. First round is against two turtles, the second round is against two dwellers. The turtles will start off the fight with Earthquake, however, if you do enough damage to them before they get a turn, they'll instead go directly into retreat. From there, it's standard turtle shenanigans of occasional high turn rate moves, maybe another Earthquake, maybe a Great Geyser. This wave shouldn't take too long. The Dwellers are a rather unique fight. They use primarily single target brave attacks, both magic and melee. At a few points in the fight, they'll enter a counter stance. Upon getting broken in this counter stance, they'll attack whoever broke them with a brave plus HP attack. The counter stance will end in 1 or 2 turns with Radiant Shade, so whenever it's targeting all in counter stance, that's when it'll switch back. They have one pretty annoying group brave attack in that it absorbs half of each unit's bravery, performs a group brave attack, and then grants itself brave damage resist. You can't be too high on bravery before this, but you also don't want to be too low either. It'll generally do this move when it's targeting all when not in counter stance. On top of this, they're immune to blind and non-framed poison and sap effects, so you need a unique sap or poison debuff to deal with their bravery before their attacks. Besides that, it has one HP move it'll use when it's at decently high bravery, and another group bravery plus HP move it'll use to recover from being broken. It should be noted that they will not counter while you're in summon though, thankfully. With the enemies out of the way, let's analyze the boosted characters for this fight. Firstly, Exdeath. Exdeath is a unique character in that his abilities are incapable of breaking enemies, rather they're all gravity based, lowering enemy brave and increasing his own brave based on his attack before any HP dumps. He can break with his standard brave attack, but otherwise the lowest the enemy will get to is 0. He is the first character to have a poison type effect that works on HP, and he also has one stacking frame debuff that has a sap effect. If an enemy has 3 levels of his stacking debuff on it, his EX will apply a 1-turn debuff that negates HP damage similar to Beatrix's Holy Knight's Safeguard, and reduces enemy brave down to 0 when it times out. Gilgamesh is the secondary or utility damage character here. 3 of his abilities have gravity-based shave, helping out with how much bravery the enemies can gain. He has a low chance of paralysis on his skill 1, and can inflict up to 3 debuffs. He has a normal recast EX that at 0 of 3 limit breaks will recover a usage of his skill 2 every use. Warrior of Light is a support for this synergy batch. An overall tried and true solid pick, although he's been overshadowed nowadays by other tanks. His shields are high value while he's boosted, and with his skill 2 he'll force enemies to target him for everything except all attacks and counterattacks. He also has a defense aura for the party, which will help mitigate brave damage. Sadly, the only form of healing he, or any of the synergy units has really, is from his EX, which isn't available on this banner. For summon choice, the Dwellers are not weak to any elements, so you can bring whoever you want. Leviathan may be a play here due to all the force damage in the second wave. For friend units, because I had plenty of bravery control in my own party, I went for damage, so I chose an Aranea. However, a Setzer friend would prove useful to nullify the effects of their counterattacks. One cast of Freeze applies a 2-turn debuff, which negates the danger of 1 round of counter stance. As for the team I chose, here's the breakdown. I mentioned earlier that the Dwellers will counterattack whoever breaks them when they're in their counter stance. That's only partially correct. They can be broken on an off turn and not counter, so that's the main reason Emperor is there. His traps will not force a counterattack, so he can keep more control over the bosses. If his traps do break the enemy while it's in counter stance, you can still freely attack the enemy until it recovers that bravery again and can be broken. Sarah is here because along with Emperor, they can put a lot of debuffs onto the enemies. Her normal poison may not be effective, but she can still inflict Embrave down, attack down, and a frame poison from her EX cast. She also batteries the party and has good auras with her cursed artifacts. And coming off the early Chaos bench, we have Charlotta. Charlotta's Throw Staff inflicts a frame sap debuff, providing even more bravery control. This team has 5 frame debuffs, 2 of which are poison or sap based. Her EX increases HP damage done, which helps Emperor's traps, as well as providing gravity shaving whenever the Dwellers do Spirit's Judgment and it happens to be up. She's also the healer for this team, along with providing battery. There are no element or attack type restrictions for this fight, so you're free to try out a variety of units for it. I've read some people using Beatrix or Edge to get rid of the danger of their HP attacks, or some recommending Zac to worry less about them entirely. There is of course also turn control, as the Dwellers need to use a turn to activate their counter stances, but on the inverse, they need to use a turn to turn off the counter stance. With that, this Chaos fight should be covered. If you want to see my footage of this fight, I'll link it in the corner and in the description below. If you liked what you saw and want to see future fights, subscribe so they show up as they're made. If you have any suggestions or thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.